Hello and welcome. I'm Serenity Ravenwolf, the lead chief, the chief love officer of the Lead with Love movement. I really need to push my teeth back in some days.
With the Lead Love movement, yes, that's who she is. And I am Kaelen Revense, and I'm the Chief Celebration Officer of Celebrate You. And together we are Lead Love Celebrate TV, and we are always ready to celebrate. Oh, I love this. Serenity, I'm so excited to be here today. And we have got so many wonderful things that we're going to be covering. And today's topic is it's tapping into the universe part one, and it's taking trust and surrender to the next level. And so today our topic is going to be focusing on tips and tools that really help to keep us at that high vibration, what Serenity and I have used that have helped us stay in that place. We're going to be talking about how they have supported me and us, Serenity and I, but more importantly, how these tips and tools help us to have all of me, to you have all of you, and vibrating at those high vibrations. And we're also going to be covering and what it looks like to, as we call it here, to leave the dream of the 3D matrix. Now you're like, Kaelen, what's the 3D matrix? The 3D matrix is where fear, doubt, shame, frustration, guilt, all of those live. And to see what it looks like to remove ourselves from that illusion and to see what life is really meant to be lived like. Serenity.
And the dream of the 3D matrix to me is kind of like we're all walking around, majority of us, that are still asleep, like dreaming and sleepwalking through life.
Yeah.
And waking up from the dream of the 3D matrix, that's the 3D operating system. And we're heading toward, well, a little bit woo-woo, but the 5D, which is where there's only the here of the now. Time ceases to exist. You feel good. All the fear and shame and anguish and all that negative, icky feeling stuff it's just disappeared.
Right? Because our natural state is to be in a state of alignment. And if we're having fear and doubt and any of those things that don't feel good, that are icky, we are out of alignment with our truest self. And that's that illusion when we've always been meant to be in this place and space.
That's my very intellectual word for today too, by the way, icky.
Yes, it's a very good intellectual word, I think, too.
Yeah. And the place this journey started for me, like 10 or 11 years ago, because I haven't always been this gregariously loving ball of energy, is that I decided it was time. There's a time on all of our journeys, and it's not just my journey. I mention this to a lot of people. There comes a time on our journey of evolution, it's time to start becoming the energytarian. I hear you say, what is an energytarian? It's like a vegetarian, right? It's like a vegetarian, though around energy. Yeah. Now, I started out as an energytarian. That means I just got really fussy about what energy I allowed into my energy bubble, my reality bubble. People, places, things, experiences, what I ate. Is this in resonance with me? Because everything to me is all about vibrational alignment. It's like a light switch. It's either on or it's off.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere in between, but it's as simple as if it's off, why is it in your life?
Yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
I even started releasing people and getting fussy on who now in my life, I've gone past being an energytarian. I moved into what I call a vegan energytarian. I'm extremely fussy. It's either on or off. Regardless of how I believe you receive the fact that I now need to create water under the bridge for you to leave my life, it's either in alignment or it's out. And everything in my life is good and yummy, and my relationships are like,
I know,
delicious,
juicy, right?
Juicy, yummy.
Yes.
There's nothing in my life anymore that is any less than loving and supportive.
So I have to just plug into this, because isn't it interesting when we've made this conscious choice how those people that are vibrating at a different vibration than we are, it's just they just naturally flush themselves out, because they can't, there's not, that attraction can't be there, because we're at different vibrational levels. And so it's, then what do you attract is all of this yumminess. But what happens when we do have things like this that come into place? They then become our teachers in all sorts of ways. So I think the cool part of this is everything, every experience, the people that come into our lives, the situations, the events, the circumstances, good, bad, ugly, repulsive, joyous, everything that comes, no coincidence, divinely orchestrated to be our teachers, to help us to show up in our greatest, most authentic and transparent and vulnerable way, and being able to live true and honest to ourselves and be in that alignment. That's all this is. And so really everything is a gift. And Serenity has this amazing story that I'm so looking forward to hearing her share with us at this time, of how stuff got a little icky, but the beauty that was there.
Yeah. Treating everything like a gift. And I understand that GOD, and the word God for me is an acronym. It just means Great Overall Designer, of which you are also too. You know, understanding that GOD always has my back, always and in all ways. And being on the journey of fully trusting and surrendering to the journey and the path and everything that shows up, and understanding that if it shows up, it's a gift in some way. There's always a silver lining. So go looking for it. That said, recently a situation popped up where we were reminded of the fluidity of my beautiful soulmate husband Andy's job. At the moment, you know, he's the main contributor to the household, and how fluid his job was. And we're building a house. We're pulling out the plan. And we went to of course, when it shows up, you go to the holy snapping duck smiles and go to the beyonds. And then I thought, no, if God has my back, then there's a silver lining here. And I didn't know what question to ask. So this is another little tool I'd like to share with you. Very powerful tool that has served me well. Simply asking better and different questions. Because it's the only way for anything different to show up in your life is to DID, do it differently. So on this one, knowing there has to be a silver lining, I'm just not seeing it.
Right.
I actually said, what's right about this that I'm just not getting? And I released it, totally surrendered it.
And didn't that
I had
feel
no
so amazing?
expectation, no nothing, because I knew that in a moment, some answer or solution to that would come through. Yeah. Within 48 hours of me crying at everything I wouldn't be able to have in my house, or maybe having to sell the land even and keep renting, and, you know, oh, I've got to give up my stone bath. Oh, no, and I'd have a cry. That was part of the releasing process. But what that allowed me to do is now I have zero attachment to how my house shows up. So that was a gift, just to see the gift in that. And yet,
doesn't it just
after
feel good?
Absolutely. And within 2 to 3 days, we found out Andy's job is a little less fluid than we were led to believe. We can have our house, and the gift of what it was, the silver lining was what this was all for. Of course, when you go building a house, you're going everything you've ever dreamed of having.
Right.
And we were reaching the point of a little bit too luxurious. Therefore, it was GID reminding us now it's time to get a little bit frugal, guys, and step back. And yes, you can have everything you desire. Yeah. And then we went looking for what are the easy picks. Oh, we can save 40,000 there. We can save 20,000 there. We can save another 10 over here. And I could wait for that for 6 months. So there's another 15. Suddenly the house is $80,000 to $100,000 cheaper. So that to me is $100,000 I don't have to pay the bank back. So there's another 15 years of my life that I just reclaimed.
Right? Woohoo!
So that was the gift in all this. Now, in the moment that it showed up, though, I tell you, it felt really horrible. We went to the beyonds of the holy snapping bat's wings. Yeah. So that's just a little story of reminding how this works and plays out in the real world.
You know, and as you shared that story with me originally when it very first happened, the rawness that was there, it was a scary moment. And being able to acknowledge the fact that life is going to throw us some sticky moments, right? And this is what I loved is you asked one of the questions, okay, what am I not seeing in this moment that
what's
is
right about this that I'm just not getting? Powerful question.
Right. Yeah. What's right about this that I'm not getting? What is it that I'm missing here? All of these questions, as opposed to saying, oh my gosh, my life sucks. I don't get anything I want. Life never works out for me. And just that horrible rent, because that is that heavy, dense energy that keeps us stuck in that 3D matrix of nothing feeling good. Right.
And we all know from a law of attraction point of view too, what you give your attention, energy, and focus to, you get more of. Do I desire more of in my life? Absolutely not. I'm keep moving forward. Take me to the. Sometimes though, these what feels like a tsunami in the moment really needed to take place to set up the foundation for like another story on a 1,000-story building. To be able to play full out at a much more expansive and a much higher octave in our lives. And then really when these show up, I actually, on some level, even though I instantly go out into the beyonds, don't stay there for too long. I go, oh, wait a minute. This is serving me. This is a gift. I just need to find the silver lining. Then I get excited that I'm about to play like a butterfly coming out of its chrysalis. And, you know, the next grandest version of the greatest vision I could ever have for myself. For me, moving forward to continue my journey of my date with destiny, my destiny.
Yeah.
And to fulfill my mission and purpose for being here. That's what it means to me.
And it's so beautiful, because the coolest part of this is Serenity. The power is the universe is literally telling you too, and all of us, it's this or something better that you're going to have, that we're going to experience, that I'm going to have. And in this moment of having this sticky feeling and releasing the attachment, there's the key. Releasing that attachment then allowed you to literally let all opportunities and possibilities come in for what is meant to happen with the home. And maybe coming back and cutting back them that $80,000 to $100,000 was the perfect answer to allow more space to come in for what it is that you really want. And you may not even realize what it is that you want, but it's something that's better than what you thought you may have wanted.
Absolutely. And another tool that I use a lot is when I don't know what to do or how, like in an instance like that, when something shows up huge and big in the moment, is another question. Questions are powerful, especially and I must admit, you were talking about attachments. The greatest personal freedom I have ever experienced, I'm getting teary here, is to release my attachment to people, places, and things. To allow the trust and the faith of what is meant to be here will flow in. And if it's big, you know, everything that shows up is also God giving us the opportunity to be loved. So everything that shows up, you know, even in that instance with the job, and I went to the beyonds, the most, you know, my topic of lead with love is I just start loving myself and supporting myself and being that divinely loving presence to be there for me. And another question I ask also is, what energy, space, and consciousness do I and my body need to be? You can add endings to that sentence: to move forward, to move through this, to deal with this, to do it differently, do it better. But the main question is, what energy, space, and consciousness do I and my body need to be? Because to me, everything is just atoms, space, and molecules, right? We're at the 1:15 hour. I'd like to welcome, because we're starting to remember calls to action. Welcome to Lead, Love, Celebrate TV. Woohoo! I'm celebrating that I remembered.
And I am too.
In the right place. And today, our topic is tapping into the universe, part 1. And I actually forget that, but that's okay.
Taking trust and serenity,
That's
surrender,
it.
trust and surrender to the next level.
You can take a little bit of serenity with you wherever you go.
Absolutely, right?
And
Oh,
when
I
I don't
love
know, just to back to the questions, when I don't know what question to
Yeah.
ask,
I love
you know,
this
it's
part.
similar to the one of like seeing the silver lining, right? When I don't know what to ask, I say, I don't know what to ask. Because the universe, now, from a law of attraction point of view,
Mhm.
and the unconscious mind and the universe is no different than the unconscious mind. 3 words, if you can eradicate them out of your vocabulary, unless you desire the result of it, don't
Right.
want to know.
Mhm.
Because the unconscious mind cannot grasp or hear negations. So an example of that is like when you say, Johnny, don't slam the door. And what does Johnny do? He slams the door because he didn't unconsciously hear the don't. He really did what you asked him to do, slam the door. So ask for what you do desire. I say, Johnny, please close the door quietly. And every time my friends say to me, why does my child listen to you and not me? I say, because I ask for what I do desire. You say for what you don't desire, they don't hear the not, and they keep doing what you just asked them to indirectly do.
Absolutely.
So when you say, I'm using this for the opposite result. So I say, I don't know what to ask now. And then I release it. And in a moment, I'll have a perfect question or a different direction to take. Another question is, I don't know what to ask. It's the same question. Ask
But
and
it's
ask
what to
now.
ask now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
ask and ask
what is the
now.
best question to ask? So if you don't know what question, if you can only remember one of those, what's the best question to ask right here?
Yeah.
And for me, I often say, being love is my topic, is that what would love do, be, or say here right now? That's all I need to know. And then I release that. Always. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do or be is to say no.
Yeah.
Because sometimes us saying yes constantly is enabling people to keep their problems, their addictions.
Yep. And to keep them doing the same thing. The DOD, they're not doing anything different, right?
Yeah. As we only have a few minutes left here before we get cut off at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
I'm testing other platforms. It's all good. Kaelen, you have a beautiful invocation of flow that you would like to share with everybody.
Yes, this is my heart that I'm sharing with you. It downloaded into my soul, and I wanted to share this with you. And it's called Invocation of Flow. I surrender to the flow. Pardon me. I surrender. I surrender to the flow of the universe. I ask openly for all things to come to me now. I give of my heart freely, expecting nothing in return. I trust in all of God's plans and promises for me. I take inspired action immediately as it opens all doors of opportunities for me. And I receive. I am wide open to receive all that the universe has in store for me and all that it chooses to bestow upon me. And that's my invocation of flow.
That feels
Serenity.
Like I would like to say amen. I have a really quick process to leave everyone to. If you would like to just close your eyes and in your mind's eye, I'd like you to expand your energy, what you feel is you, out past your body, out past the chair or wherever you're standing, out past the room that you are in, out past your house, your yard, your city block, out past your state, your country, out past the planet, out into the universe and beyond. Now I have one question to ask you right now. Do you still feel yourself, your energy, who you know to be you, out there? Usually the answer is yes. And in this moment, I'd like to remind you that you are infinite and omnipresent, just like God, great overall designer. Now tell me, feeling yourself out into the universes and beyond, now tell me, are you unimportant, insignificant, and not enough? I beg to differ. You're magnificent and beautiful in every way possible, and I love you. Kaelen, would you like to lead out with the final prayer, and we'll wrap this up perfectly in 20 minutes?
May you rejoice in the unique magnificence of your being, that in the here of this now has the power to transform all who enter the light of your eternal presence as you lead, love, celebrate. Thank you.